Welcome, everybody, to the Gate Expectations podcast, where I bring in a weekly guest, talk all things Yu-Gi-Oh!, and get to know a little more about each person I talk to. This is the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast that is run by a full-fledged journalist such as myself. This is episode 10. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can check out earlier podcasts with guests like Pen God Stephen Trifanowski, Jesse Cotton, Team Samurai X1, Doug Zeef, Cody Angeloff, and many more. My guest for this week is the first Canadian to get to the World Championships since the North American merger, a multiple YCS topper, and arguably one of the most beloved players of all time. It's Bo Tang, my good friend Bo. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Thank you, David. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
I appreciate you coming on, Bo. I mean, we've been friends for a very long time now. We met actually back in 2010 at a regional.
Yeah, almost a decade.
Yeah, it's been a decade now, and we played each other once, and this was before you became really well known and famous. And I haven't played you since in this game, so I'm kind of scared to play you now, considering that like you were a lot better than what you were a decade ago, and I was maybe a little bit better than I am now than what I was then. So like I kind of hit my ceiling. You didn't hit your ceiling at that point. And I've seen you play, and you're so dangerous as a player, and it kind of freaks me out now. But yeah, we've been friends now for a decade, and we've gone through a good chunk of things together. And Bo, I'm finally glad I was able to get you on here.
Thanks so much.
So you participated in the Remote Duel Invitational a couple weeks ago. You got selected on. And we haven't really seen you play a whole lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the past couple years here. So what was that experience like, being able to be part of that invitational?
Oh, yeah, that was great. So I guess I was so lucky to be selected. So like I was like so proud of that. So but yeah, it was great. It's like a small tournament. It's like a local tournament, like 16 people, but with all the great names. So the competition is like crazy. And so for me, like I got my invitation back in July. Like when I saw it, I was like so excited because I haven't played in a while because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Also because of the newborn. So I was like, okay, yeah, I have to get ready for it. So I spent a lot of time like doing the analysis and also trying to find out like the best deck for me. I also spent like a lot of money. I bought a case of the new like Rise of the Duelist.
Yep.
And I bought like lots of like staples, like Lightning Storm actually.
Yeah.
Like and other like random stuff just to get ready for the tournament. So it was great. So I was playing like my favorite deck, like Necros, and also attacking like the Dogmatica stuff as well as the Shidar mini engine. It was great, but in the end, like, I guess I didn't do too well. I lost to like Block Dragon. Like I can't beat that. Like I mean, it's a top deck Block Dragon, so he had not just top deck Block Dragon, and then that's like too much advantage. That's unfair. And then I also lost to like what's that? Trap Tricks? I believe that's the one.
Yeah, Trap Tricks. Yep.
Yeah, I built my deck to beat like combo because like combo is like super popular, and also combo is a lot better than control at the moment. So like I have no idea like what trap tricks like do, and I mean like I just had like no cards to beat the deck, so that's like whatever. But in general, like I believe my deck is still like pretty strong, so especially against combos, I'm pretty like happy about my deck. But yeah, it was a fun experience, and especially like able to do against like other like great players. So like the opportunity is like so rare, and then like I was so happy about it. It's just that like I was not like lucky enough to get a feature match. I guess maybe I lost early, so but yeah, that's whatever. So I had a great time. So
yeah, usually if you get a feature match, if you lose early, it's because you're trying to fight in to get a spot at that point. And unfortunately, I think you had a 1-3 record in that tournament.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, so not one of your better performances as I've been used to seeing you do. Usually I see you at least make the top cut almost every single time I see you play a tournament. So this was uncharacteristic of me to watch.
I mean, like I'm also like playing underdog deck, so I
Yeah.
would like hoping for the best because like I know that like my deck is not like tier one or like tier zero like in like any sense, but
Hmm.
I just believe in my deck, but somehow like like I didn't success, but still like it's still a good run for me. So like
So why did you choose the deck that you did, Dogmatic and Necros?
right. So like so you know like Necros is back to like full power, so we got like 3 unicorn.
Hmm.
Well, actually, like one of the biggest reasons is that like I love the ritual deck. At the same time, like I love the Shadar deck. So this is the only deck that can combine like both strategies into one.
Hmm.
And at the same time, like Dogmatica like provides like lots of interruptions, especially during my opponent's turn. So that'd be great
Hmm.
because like against combo, like I normally have a unicorn in the field, and also I should have some protection if I want it. So I can also get a Valk or a Trish to protect my unicorn.
Hmm.
So if I have the Dogmatica stuff, especially like the traps and the punishment, and like I'm pretty like safe like going first, and also like against combo, so that's like what I do because like they can't do much after that, and I will just follow up with a Twitch, and normally like the game will be over. So
Hmm.
that's my strategy, and it worked like pretty well until a point that someone dropped a block dragon. Then that's too much for me to handle.
That card's going to start cursing you now for a long time now. That block dragon.
Yeah, but I hope it will be gone, so that should be okay.
Yeah, I think it's a card that's able to go at this point. So let's cross our fingers, and you won't have to worry about that card again.
Yeah, I just believe that like my deck takes some skills, so
Yeah.
um there are lots of like interruptions at the same time. Like I need to plan like my strategy like ahead, like a few turns ahead because of like the ritual stuff. Because I can plan like when I would like to activate my ritual and like when I will have an empty field so that I can decide. I mean, I can use the ritual spells in the grave and then search for a new one from my deck, right? And the Dogmatica stuff like provides a lot of like utilities. So um, especially like with the servant like Maximus and also like punishment because I can send stuff from my extra deck to the grave, so I can do like lots of stuff. Not like other decks, like they can only send like TNSS to the grave just to pop the stuff. But in my deck, I can send that, or I can send the Toad to recycle stuff from my grave, or I can send what was the one? I can send Herald to search for
Yeah, that's one of the
ritual
big
card.
ones.
Right. Yeah. So that's why like it's amazing. Or like I send Omega, just like other decks recycle stuff. Like worst case scenario, I mean I have like lots of Shidal stuff like in the extra deck as well, so I can get like Shidam and I can set up the Shidal play. So yeah, that's why I like my deck. Like lots of like interruptions. I mean against I mean if the meta is full of like fair decks, so my deck should have the edge like over those. But like if I can't beat like stuff like Block Dragon or like like Needle Fiber and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and then they're gonna be a problem. But in general, like against combo, I still believe that they had a hard time like dealing with my board, especially like Unicorn plus Bulk. There are quite a few games like they had to like waste lots of like resources just to beat over Unicorn because like all their monsters are quite small. Like for example, like Dragon Link, and also like the Rock deck, right? Like all the Link monsters are super small. They don't get any effects. Like they don't get the pluses or like if they want to like link up. So like quite a few games that they had to like just summon a Borrow Sword just to kill my unicorn. So that's pretty sad. And then I mean I just follow up with a Chichula. Not like because like in combo decks like people play with so many monsters, right? So they can set their entire hand.
Yeah.
That they'll have like some extenders which they can't use because I had the unicorn in the field. Right, so I mean, just follow up with a Trish. So hopefully have some like punishment or like other like Dogmatica support, and then I'm pretty good to go.
Did you happen to play Decisive Armor in that deck too to kind of help protect the unicorn?
I know I just want to play like minimum amount of ritual stuff. So decisive is one of the best. I mean worst ones.
Worst ones.
Right, because like I don't even want to see any ritual cards in my opening hand. I would like to search for. I mean, except like Burial. So I want to see Burial, but
Yeah, that's yeah. Definitely
Right,
the other one.
right. So, and also if you check my deck list, I try to play as many powerful like spells as possible. So most of them are plus ones,
Mhm.
and so because I need them to combat, right? Because in the current meta, it's like crazy. People get like so many free pluses, right? And I also play like 14 hand traps.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I did the math, so I wanted to have a roughly 50% of opening at least like 2 hand traps.
Mhm.
So yeah, my deck is built based on the ratio.
Did you, looking back at it now, would you have chosen a different deck to play than what you did at that tournament, just because you had, not the greatest record on that tournament?
No, like I'm still pretty happy like with my deck. So I just want to play like something unique. Like
Mhm.
I don't want to play in the rock deck. And rock deck it just like I mean, to be honest, it's such a stupid deck. So you just do like the same combo like over and over, and then you just hope that like you can resolve like block, and then you just have all the negation on the board. To be honest, like I don't like such decks. So I like something that can be like interruptive.
Mhm.
So it's, like my deck is like it can be combo.
Mhm.
I can also play and the needle fiber and link class, but it can be control. So so that fits my play style very well. But in
Mhm.
general, I just don't want to play like something like other players are playing. It's predictable, and at the same time, it's just not like not exciting enough for me to pilot. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, we know that you're a very experienced player with Necros. You've had success with it. You've talked to YCS. You've talked regionals with Necros. Even when Necros was written off as dead, you still talked the regional with it. I remember way back when, I think it was around 2016, when it was well after dead. You still topped a Toronto regional with it, and I remember I didn't take the picture, but someone else did. I put up online and said that you beat somebody who had a full board, but you cleared the board with Drowning Mirror Force and you won in time. If you remember that moment.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, so I know that you're a huge like Necros player, and that was the one deck that I was able to top a YCS with, and I have you to thank for a good chunk of it, because you and I worked extensively that morning before the event on just fine tuning that deck and helping me make a couple plays, and I was able to top that one. And so I know that you're a big like Necros player. So like, does that deck have like a kind of like a place in your heart for, or like at least one of your favorite decks to play?
Right, yeah. So that's one of it, and also like another reason I love the deck was that like the deck is so like versatile. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can basically get like whatever you need at like, basically at any moment if there's no like floodgates,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's crazy. And then you can see that like on the modern decks, and they are like Necros. So basically, like for example, like the Elrich deck, right? A single trap or a single spell can get you like basically like whatever you need. Right. So I guess Necros was like one of the first decks besides like Dragon Rulers that can do that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still like very powerful. And yeah, so I just love like those kind of like strategies. So I can get the stuff like anytime I need. And yeah, and that's why like I chose the deck like previously, especially for that regionals. So yeah, it's pretty funny. So I like I couldn't remember why. Somehow I got a day off on that Friday, and I had nothing to do, so I went to locals. I was like, what should I play for regionals? I haven't played in a while. And then my friend showed me some like kaiju stuff. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And I was like, wait a minute, I saw a level 9 kaiju. I was like, wait, can I use that for my Necros deck? Because like I mean Necros of Trishula is level 9, right?
Yeah.
And that guy is like level 9 as well. Because that I remember that one of the Exist monsters that were like a mini Trish. You just need like 2 level 9 monsters, and then you combine you put them together, and then you make that, and then you can detach one material. You can either like banish a card in the grave or field or hand. So it's essentially like a Trishula. I was like, can I do that? So and then I built my deck like based on that strategy. And after I finished my deck, I was like, and the deck didn't seem to be like powerful enough. But I don't know like what would be missing. So I was like, okay, let me check like the latest set. So what's in the latest set? And I was like, wait, that trap was amazing. Like, why no one's playing it? And it's like $10. I can get a playset like pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so now I know what to do. So I need to bluff, and then I need to trap my opponent into Drowning Mirror Force. So yeah, and then I topped the regionals afterwards.
Yeah, that was a funny one. At the end, the card you're talking about, I'm pretty sure you're talking about is Phantom Fortress Enter Blafner. That rank 9 exceed.
Oh yeah, that's his name. Yeah, it's been a
that's
while, so I don't
it's
remember.
been a while. Yeah, I was pretty sure I was dueling beside you when that moment happened. You hit the Drowning Mirror Force, and everyone was so shocked by what happened. Like there was a little crowd around you when you were playing that. I found it pretty funny and hilarious, and I was just like, man, that's Bo Tang. That's what he is. He's full of surprises, and and as a person, to me, like you've always been this nice, friendly, easygoing person, and I always have a laugh with you. But every time I watch you duel, you're so different. You're so cold. You're so calculated, and you get a little bit serious, but you still have a little bit of laugh here and there. But you're really meticulous in your moves, and it's like two different sides of seeing Bo Tang as a person and a duelist when you get out there and play. It's quite astonishing for me to watch, at least from a person who knows you on both sides of the game.
Yeah, so like if I know like what's going on, I'll probably be chill. But like most of the time, like people play like new cards and then I have to read them, I have to focus. So especially like when I need to bluff, like oh yeah, another reason I love the Necros deck is that you can never expect what kind of like traps or like side deck cards that I'll be playing, right? And then like because I can easily bluff with my ritual spells. I mean, yeah, you can twin twister, so that's fine. Like no one cares, right? But like with my deck, like my deck is full of like surprise factors. So yeah, that gave me like some edge like in a tournament. So I guess that's part of like deck building. So I don't know like if my skill level like it's like higher or maybe in the same level as some of my opponent. But like if my deck is built to beat like most of my deck, like for example like meta decks, so I should have a slightly higher chance of doing that. Especially like when I don't play that much, so I need to have some sort of like edge to combat. So.
What I love about the Necros decks is that a lot of their plays are not linear. Like you really have your play is different almost every single game that you play because you typically want to go second when you play Necros, and then not to mention that you're always dealing with a board, so you really have to learn how to play around everything. And Necros is able to do that, at least when I played it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and also like it's funny that like people may not know like if you are misplaying because like people will get lost because like, there are so many lines of play. Like unlike the current like combo decks, you know that eventually they will make a needle fiber and then go from there, right? And they just use a hand trap to stop that. But in a Necros deck, like you have like lots of options, so you can search like so many times like with so many cards. So. Yeah, so you have the option. So I guess like the worst part is that like you just have to plan a few turns ahead. So you have to know like what's going on. So that's like pretty hard to master.
And I think it's arguably one of the most difficult mirror matches to play. Like past Dijin, like post Dijin, I think it was one of the toughest mirror matches to ever have to play. It's not easy. The whole entire game is, I feel, is like resource management.
Right. Yeah. So I love the mirror match so much. Yeah, I believe that like before the dream was banned, I had a crazy idea. So like I played like two Dijins, but not like Hoban, not like Patrick Hoban. So
yeah.
main deck one and side deck one, main deck two copies. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that was like a funny moment. So people like people always ask me to side out like Dijin, but I never agree on that because I play two copies.
Yeah.
Because people will get rid of one and then they'll be like, oh, okay, I'm winning now. But like once they see my second copy, they were like, oh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because at that point in time, we started to have people try to do these gentleman agreements to try to at least side out Vanity's emptiness, and I always said no, I'm not siding out Vanity's emptiness at all. Even though I would win game one, and it would be my I would win game one anyway, and they would still make me go first. It'd be my advantage to keep it in. And I'm like, yeah, I'm keeping it in because if I win game one in the mirror match, I'm going to be going first. No, I want to see Vanity's emptiness in my hand first turn. So that way I can launch it on them and essentially win the game. So I never did it. I never agreed to those kind of those gentlemen's agreements. I don't know if you ever did, but I definitely did not do that.
Or like I did once. I guess that was back in Dragon Ruler format, like Six Sense.
Yep.
No, 6th Sense was just like released.
Yeah.
And because like I didn't have a copy of that, so yeah, like during the originals, like I didn't want to spend money. But I know that it's like a waste of money. So
yeah,
like so that's why like I always ask people, wait, so do you want to sign out the 6th Sense and return? That was like the final run of the regionals.
Yeah.
And then I guess my opponent was like Victor Lee or another Lee, so I don't remember, like one of the cheaters. So I asked them to do that. They were like, no, like I don't want to do so. Okay, I was like, okay. And then like I opened with return, and I won and I topped the regionals. So it was pretty funny. But I had no 6th Sense. I don't want to invest in that. So.
Now, going back to the Remote Duel Invitational very quickly, you saw that Team Samurai X1, Sam Runavasari, who's also a good friend of yours, he won the event, he won the whole thing. What was your reaction when you found out that he won it?
Yeah, like I was pretty happy about it because like I did some playtests with him like before the tournament, and then he also shared like some of the tech choices that I should consider in my deck. So yeah, yeah, like I was surprised that like he eventually like he was, I believe he was trying to play dinos with some floodgates, but I guess eventually he made the correct move, so he took them out and then he made a better deck. So and yeah, also at the same time I knew that like Dino would be a great deck. I mean, great choice for the tournament as well because the conductor was like so big, and then it has like so many like good effects. It can like break the combo board like pretty easily. Yeah, I was also considering like the Dino deck, but in the end, I mean like my heart won because I always wanted to play Necros. So yeah, but like I'm just like I'm so excited when I saw like Tim was in the finals, and then that was like one of my best moments because like people always like laugh at like these like Yugi tubers, right? Because like they basically like trash at playing the game.
Yeah,
I mean some of them, but like still like there are quite a few of them that are super good at the game, especially like Sam. So also Sam topped like YCS as well. So like he's a good player. It's just that you can never like you can never underestimate like how good he is and how good some of the Yugi tubers are.
That's what he told me when we spoke in the podcast. He told me that he wanted to be legitimate, and he wanted to be real, and everything he puts out there is that he truly believes it. He's not trying to do this for like the likes and the posts. That's what he told me, and like I think this was a good way for him to kind of prove that he is a really good player out there, and you definitely shouldn't be underestimated. And you and I have been able to see him play firsthand because you guys are from the Toronto area. I'm not too far off, so I at least be around that surrounding area when we go for regionals. We've seen him play before.
Yeah, and also he's like a little brother to me. So like I met him like actually I met him like almost a decade ago. Been a while, like quite a few years. He was like a little kid. He was like so bad. But he loves like 6 Ms. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess I beat him like quite a few times in the locals. I was playing my trash 6 Ms. So I only played 6 Ms when like the 6 M United. Wait, 6 M
Gateway?
No. Oh, okay, so it's when Gateway was hit to 0, and there's another draw spell. I guess 6 M Unite or something like that.
Yeah, United.
Oh yeah, United. Yeah, that's the one. So that one was hit to 1. So at the moment, I just got a 6M deck like real cheap. So that's why I was like, wait, should I try to play it? I never played 6M at full power. So
Yep.
and then I played that deck at the local Dolly's. So the Dolly's is my local OTS store. So basically, I played that deck, and then I won the tournament. And then Sam was a little kid. He came to me. He was like, "Wow, so you're so good at it." I was like, "I guess I was lucky." And then we did exchange some of the deck building ideas. Yeah, and then we became friends. So yeah, so it's been quite some time.
And now he's adapted that name to be his, part of his persona, and that he's taken off quite well, actually. So I guess you have a big heavy hand on the influence on that name, especially since Samurai Sam is part of his name.
Yeah, but to be honest, like I don't like the name too much because like Sam always goes like X3, so it should be like Team Samurai X3 instead of X1. I'd rather go like X0, right, to be more confident. Like X1, I guess X1 wouldn't be too bad. I mean, like at worst, it can go X21, Team Samurai X21, and then it will still be good. But if I was Sam, I'll be like, I'll go like a Team Samurai X0, like.
It's a good thing you two are close friends, so you can make fun of him like that.
Yeah, I love him. So
yeah, I understand. And going along with this, the Six Samurai format, you and I have also shared a really fun moment in Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in I think March of 2013, where it was, I think it was the day before your birthday, I believe.
Oh, and yeah.
I told you that, for your birthday, I wished you a happy birthday on Facebook, and I told you both of us are going to top the Toronto Regionals this weekend. And you piloted Six Samurais when Mono Mermails just came into play. Like, it was before it was Mermails. The Mono Mermails were in, and Fire Fists were one of the best decks at the time. And you were running Six Samurais. So what was your deck decision for running Six Samurais when it was Mono Mermails and Fire Fist?
Right. So yeah, I guess I have to go back to like a year ago. So so I only played Six Samurais for 3 events, only 3 events besides locals. So the first one would be back in 2012. So that there was a regionals, and at that time, so the best decks are like Dino Rabbit, Injectors, and also Agents, I believe. Oh, and Plants. Yeah, these 4 decks. Yeah, these are the best decks. The only reason I played Six Sams was that I wanna, like, it's an underdog and then no one's expecting it. And at the same time, so at that time, like, Xian was at 1, United at 1, and Gateway at 0. I was like, okay, so maybe I can somehow like build a deck better. So my entire strategy was built based on Floodgates, and I don't remember like how many MSTs were available. I guess Heavy Storm was banned and MST was at 3.
Heavy Storm, I believe, was still around at that time.
Okay, so so my strategy was to make Xian and then set the counter trap. So the counter trap can either be a Judgment. I believe Judgment was legal. I don't remember, like Judgment.
Yeah, warning. Judgment was legal. Yeah,
and also there's a 6M counter trap that if there's a destruction, and then you can just flip it and negate it.
Yeah, Magatama.
Oh yeah, Magatama. So those ones plus Floodgates. So that was my strategy, and so it went I performed pretty well. So I topped the regionals. So with that strategy, so people like were crazy. All right, so that's back in 2012. So 2013, I somehow played Six Sams again.
Yeah.
So before the regionals, so basically I was at work. Actually, I was sitting like in the washroom. I was like, what deck should I play? If I look at the format, so it looks familiar. So it seems similar to like the format like a year ago. So Mermail were pretty good because like they can extend like pretty well, right? And also like all the pieces can connect to each other, but the only problem is that they need a graveyard. So that's Mermails. And what's that? What's the other one? Like Gear, and Fire Fist, I believe. So those are similar to like Dinos because they're control based. But at the same time, like the monsters are so weak. Like, for example, like in the Dino Dino Rabbit deck, right? The best monster. Alagia is at 24.
Yep.
And in 5 Feast, and then the best one could be like Bear or a Tiger King, right? They're pretty small as well. I mean, as long as I have interruption to negate like their effects, or I have the counter traps or floodgates ready, I should be okay. So that's my mindset. So after like I'm done in the washroom, I was like, okay, I know what deck I'm playing. Right. So it would be like disgusting. That's my thought process because I had nothing to do like when I was sitting there.
Yeah.
So like okay, and so I made the deck. So basically in the same strategy. So I want to protect Xian, and at the same time I will set up like floodgates. But the only different idea was that I wanted to try Gateway. Gateway was still at 1. Somehow I was like, maybe I should try it again. Although I hate it so much because it's only good going first. Because at that time, like 6Ms were like super bad. I only had 1 Xian and I don't other supports. And I mean, if I can open gateway, so that's great. But after turn 1, I mean, it's pretty much dead because I want to draw floodgates instead of like a gateway because it does nothing unless I have like multiple monsters. But if I had multiple monsters, they would either be in the grave or they'll be on the field. The reason they'll be in the grave was that I must have used them for like synchro summoning or like exit summoning, stuff like that. Right. So the gateway will be bad. But somehow it's like, maybe let me try it again. So I did, and I only drew it once, so it didn't matter. So we both topped the regionals. So you top with Mermails, and I top with 6Ms. Like, I was like so excited, and then like, I was also so happy for you, and that's like one of the best moments that because we both topped the regionals.
Yeah.
And
I called it too. Like I said, we're both gonna top it together. You and I, because we've always had like a friendship before, and it was your birthday. I thought, I'm just gonna make this crazy proclamation to say that both of us topped the regionals together, and we did, and that made me pretty happy. And I remember several years later on, we took a picture of us like together, kind of almost to commemorate that moment, just a reminder of that moment. I'm pretty sure it's on your Facebook somewhere. It's you and me just posing together, just thinking about back to when we topped that regional.
Yeah, that regional like, was one of the best. And also like there's a fun fact. So at the regionals, I beat like one of the famous players in the GTA. Like I'm not gonna say the name. So not actually like he never beat me like in any events. But I believe that there was like one of the event I beat him. Oh, no, not I beat him. That's one of the event that we played. And he was playing like Gear. He was like so confident he wanted to win a tournament. I was playing a shitty deck. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that name. I was playing a bad deck, a 6M deck. He didn't expect to lose, and I won. I mean, fortunately, so he was like crazy mad. He became like a madman. And like a few years later, I mean, over the years, like I played him like many times, and I always beat him. He was always mad at me. But like I'm not gonna say a name. It's just like pretty funny. So I also beat him like in top 4 of one of the catch events, like the GTA catch events.
Oh right, yep.
Yeah, but it's just that, and also like back to the samurai story. So. The last event I played in was the YCS, like a few weeks after the regional top that we had. In the YCS, I took out the gateway, and then I topped that YCS as well. So that those are the only 3 events that I played with 6Ms.
But you made pretty good headway out of that, since considering you topped with them when they were written off. And again, it's just suits your play style. It's just funny to see you like use these kind of like written off decks and still win with them. That's kind of what you like to do. And I know that you also won with 6. You also topped a YCS San Diego with it as well, with 6 Samurais. Back in 2013.
That's before Dragon Ruler came out.
So just before Rulers. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So kind of to tie all this together, as we said, we've been friends for a decade now, and pretty much the same with Sam. You got married 3 years ago to who's now your wife, Jessica, and you invited both Sam and I to that wedding. and which we had a lovely time, by the way. I loved being at that wedding. We had a lot of fun, and it was funny that you just put all the Yu-Gi-Oh people at one table. There's a very small table, so I was kind of honored that I got to be picked as part of that. And then, not to mention, your wedding coincidentally happened to be a week before the YCS, so that way everyone you invited to the wedding still got to play the following week.
Yeah, and surprisingly, I also entered like in the YCS as well. Like, unexpected, and then I got like 04 job. Yeah, that was like the worst. But like at the same time, like I was pretty happy that like we can have a wedding like, before like these kind of events. So like everyone will be happy. So and also I guess you guys can also talk about the strategy to get prepared for the YCS.
Yeah, you're not wrong, because I didn't know Zodiacs very well at that point in time. And that was the deck that I was running for that YCS. I still did terrible anyway. I was 3-3 and I dropped. But that's what I did that night. I would talk to Sam and I would talk to Joe Vesio that was there. And I know some of the Dolly's crew was there too. And so was Sam, obviously. And I was trying to just get some pointers and some like Zodiac help for Zodiac help, just to get my deck together, because I was panicking. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Help me, everything that. So I did do that at your wedding. It was like to actually talk about Yu-Gi-Oh with the guys. I'm like, I need help for next week. And then, but that stopped pretty quickly because your wedding was open bar, and I think I had about 12 drinks that night. So I was pretty good that night, and Autumn and I were just started dating at that point. Now we're also 3 years strong now, which is kind of funny. So I'm kind of taking your anniversary, which was about 3 weeks ago, and then that was also like 3 years ago, and then kind of counting that as close to our anniversary, which is August 5th as well. So that was kind of a funny thing too. All that's kind of tied together, you know.
Yeah, like same as the invitational this year, right? Is at like 21st August. So, but to be honest, I can't wait to attend your wedding. So make sure that you plan ahead and let me know.
Yeah. Autumn and I 100% agree that when we have our wedding, that you and Jessica are 100% invited. And speaking of which, I'm gonna have to invite one more person now, because you recently had a son.
Oh, a girl, actually.
Oh, girl, Dono, so I'm sorry. Yeah,
yeah, no worries.
And I keep seeing pictures of you teaching her how to play.
Yeah, and like she's so good at it. Like she knows like the basic plays in Yu-Gi-Oh, which is instruction. So like if you go first, like no matter like what deck you're playing, if you go first, you make a full board. Like doesn't matter. I mean, she can destroy your board. Like, after that's done, she destroy your hand and your deck, and then you GG. And if she goes first, she just destroy you. So, so she's winning like either way. She's good. So
I mean, I already see a super polarization on her side of the board against you.
Yeah, like she doesn't need that. she was already in a good position, so she can just destroy me, and then that's it.
How old is she?
8 months.
And what's her name?
Gemma.
Gemma, was that decided by you, or was that by Jessica, your wife?
Yeah, Jessica.
Jessica decided that. Oh, well.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, like the name was coming from the movie, Crazy Rich Asian. I think
Crazy Rich Asians. Yep.
Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah.
So like one of the main characters is named as Gemma, and then we feel that like that's a special name.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we both love the name, so we went ahead with it.
Yeah, and I know that you also have a pretty rare dog. You also have a pet Shiba as well.
Yeah, Shiba Inu. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you've had that for a decent amount of years now. How long have you had that one for?
Quite a few years. Yeah.
Quite a few years. Yeah, it's so cute, and that's one of the dogs I would totally love to have.
Yeah, I love him so much. Like he's like one of my best friends. So yeah, we had like lots of good times. And, yeah, it's crazy.
Is he neutered at all, or is?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Geez. See, that was one thing I was supposed to ask you that Autumn asked me to, is like to ask if your dog was neutered or not, because we would totally want if it was breeding, we would totally want one.
Yeah, it just said that the breeder told us not to do so, and yeah. Also, he has a pure bloodline, so yeah. So that's like one of the reasons. So we respect the breeder, and
Yeah.
yeah, basically followed like what he told me to do. So
How did you get your hands on a Shiba? Because those things are pretty rare to come around here in North America.
yeah, actually, I found the ad on Kijiji, and it was in Windsor. So when I saw it, I like we just drove like 4 hours to that place, and then I guess we were pretty lucky. Like there were there was a couple just like behind us, just I guess just like 30 minutes late. So we went into the house first, and then that Shiba was the only one available.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then yeah, we had like a good like 3 minutes with that Shiba, and then yeah, we just made up the mind. Yeah, we wanted him, and yeah, he became a member of our family, and
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah, I guess yeah, we're pretty lucky, and at the same time, it's just that like I mean, you can't always get a good friend. Sometimes like you just have to hope like one day like you meet the one that you love. So
yeah.
yeah.
And she's been a pretty good woman to you so far, because I still was able to see you at several events even after you got married. So it's nice that she's letting you be able to do, especially for the Remote Duel Invitational, which was, not too long after your 3-year anniversary as well.
No, it's not. I also told my wife, like, can we have the anniversary like a week after? Because I need to prepare for the event.
Yeah. I hope you treated her well and did something special for your anniversary then this year.
Right.
So kind of to tie this all together now, we haven't really seen you play a whole lot lately, and this is man before the pandemic happened and everything like that, because you have a wife now, you have a child, you graduated from the University of Toronto in electrical engineering now, and I'm pretty sure you are an engineer now, that you have a big career and everything like that. So I am going to guess that it's a little bit harder to kind of juggle Yu-Gi-Oh now that you have so many responsibilities at that point. Is that fair?
That's right. Yeah, because like before that, I can still go because like I live like just a street across the GN, like Game Nations. It's like super close. So like before like the kid was born, I still had like some time to go to the locals and then play tournaments. So that was like pretty fun. But after that, like once the kid was born, and then yeah, basically my time was like fully occupied. But at the same time, I still wish like I can spend a little bit more time like with my hobby.
Yep.
So that's why like when I saw like the invitational, so basically I just talked to my wife like immediately. Can I? Should I? She's like, follow your heart. I was like, okay, so basically that's a no answer. And I was like, shall we talk a little bit more? Okay. Yeah. So eventually I got approved.
Yeah, that's good.
But like I didn't have too much time. Like I basically can go to the locals. Or I mean I can go to locals just to pick up stuff and then go home like immediately. But I still had like an hour or so like each day at night after the kid was sleeping. So I use that time to do like playtest and do like a series. Because like I still want to play the game, and the game is still like pretty like exciting. It's just that I didn't have too much time, but I was like so fortunate I was selected, so I can keep playing the game. Like otherwise, like I don't have any motivation because like there's no events, right? And there's no like prize support. There's no nothing. So there's no reason to play Yu-Gi-Oh like during the pandemic. Until I saw like the invitation, I was like, yeah, that's the event that I need to get ready.
Yeah.
Of so
have you been able to fit at least some Yu-Gi-Oh into your life now that you have a full career, you're married, and you have a child?
right. So basically, like I'm just hoping like if I can help as many people as I could. Like for example, like last year. So last year the kid was not born yet. So I went to the New York Comic Con. I was the Duel Master, so I guess I was fortunate to be invited for that event as well. Yeah, I'm very thankful for that. Right. So during that time, like I do like a lot of like people, especially like young kids. We spend like quite a few. I should say that like the games are pretty like quote unquote like back and forth because I wanted to create like some challenges for those kids, and at the same time I wanted them to win the game. So so that was like a pretty like fun moment because I had to plan ahead as well. I need to plan like how I can lose and how I can put pressure like on my opponents. Right. So although I didn't play too much during that time, but I was still like trying to learn like new strategies and then also help like new players and help them like how the mechanic works and how they can enjoy the game a little bit better. So like I just hope that like I can put that like influences like on like other people and especially like positive impacts on that side. Like, because like I'm not like an active person and then like I don't talk crazy like online or anywhere. Like I'm just trying to help if I could.
Yeah, of course. And so have you tried to at least try to keep up with the game as in recent years, even though you're married now and you have a child? Are you still trying to like stay in the game?
Yeah, like I guess I still like play the game like quite reasonably. I mean before the kid was born, I can spend like some time like at locals and also like build like crazy decks. But I guess I play Duel Links and like Goat Control the most. But I still enjoy like the what was that the current I mean the meta game. So I was still like following like the meta. It's just that I couldn't travel like too much, so that's why I haven't been to any like YCS in the States since 2015. Oh, okay. Actually, I've been to like two YCS like after 2015.
Yeah.
Like just not that many anymore. Because a lot of times I was also like pretty jealous because like some players can travel to like all events. Like they have like so much time to do like whatever they need. Even in my like, my early ages, like in my early 20s, or maybe like early 20s basically. Like I just couldn't have like enough time to do so because I so focused on my career and also other like developments. Right, so I couldn't travel. Also, although I wanted to be competitive, I can only like go to like selective amount of like events. So yeah,
it's really about planning ahead for you now if you really want to play any big events now.
Big events.
Like if you want to play like, and if you want to play like a YCS or something like that, you really have to like plan ahead and kind of talk it over with your wife and everything, kind of so that way you can go.
Yeah. Most of the time, that'll be the case. But she's pretty like supportive, especially for some like important events.
Yeah,
like in the New York Comic Con, and I got the green lights like a few months before that. So
yeah, and I guess a good way for you to help stay in the game is if you keep teaching your daughter how to play the game too, and hopefully she'll become the next like Dragon Duelist, and then maybe she'll become the next YCS champion. See the first like female champion ever out there.
Yeah, hopefully. I just hope that like the new generations can shout. So so my kid, my little girl won't feel that awkward like going to event.
Oh,
just kidding.
Well, she's got a good teacher behind her, so hopefully we can see that happen. So the New York Comic Con, you got invited to kind of help out at that event, and you also had a Duel Links duel against Sam, and it turned into a commercial as well. So how was that experience for you?
Oh yeah, that was like crazy, and then it was like super fun. Because like I believe like Konami was trying to because like we had like 4 masters like at that event, and then I guess Konami wanted to do some like, commercials as well as some like advertisements with some other like content creators, I believe. So I guess I was only one who played Duel Links the most. So yeah, I was selected, so I was also like happy for that. And yeah, so I got a chance to play against Sam. So Sam was a bit new to Duel Links, I believe. So he was piloting a Blue Eyes deck, which is nice and straightforward. So I got the Dark Lords, so that's a little bit more complex, and that's like another like Necros deck where you need to like plan ahead. Yeah, so it was like pretty good, and like in the end, like it went out well, and yeah, I was so surprised to see myself in that commercial with Sam, and then yeah, that also shows that like the good friendship that we had, and also we're so proud that we're also from the same locals. People who didn't know that somehow like we played each other at New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Two local kids played together.
Yeah, I mean, usually I don't like playing my local friends when I'm playing out of town, but I'm sure this one is an exception for you because you got to be in a commercial for it for Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh, which had to be pretty exciting for the most part. Did you know that you were going to be in a commercial?
I didn't know that, but I knew that it was on the stream or something.
Oh, okay. So
right,
you knew you were being filmed at least.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Got it. Oh, well, all right, Bo. I think your child is about to wake up here soon, so I'm going to have to let you go here so that you can tend to it. You told me, yeah, you had a limited amount of time, and she's probably starting to get up now.
Yeah. Like my schedule is basically fully booked. So
Yeah.
because like now I'm taking a break. It's a like long weekend, right? So I need to take a little bit more like responsibilities, especially like with the kid. But like during like weekdays, like my wife did most of the work.
Yeah.
It's like I have to work. Like my work is pretty intensive, so
yeah,
she spend most of the time with the kid. So basically, like right now we're just taking turns.
Yeah, because she's also an engineer too, right? Or she at least studied the same program as you.
Yeah, she's a software engineer. So I'm a computer engineer.
Yeah,
so.
Two smart people, and you're gonna raise probably a very smart daughter on top of that, and maybe other children if you decide to have it. So, oh geez, Bo, you're living the life right now, my friend. You're living the life.
I guess, but that's still like a lot of like pressure, like coming from like all kinds of areas. So, but I guess like I'm pretty like fortunate because like my wife supports me, like supports my hobbies.
Yes,
and I got a chance to play like Yu-Gi-Oh, so which is my like the hobby since 2000, the year of 2000.
Oh, really? Wow, that long. Jeez.
Yeah, I was an OCG player for like 9 years, and then I came to Canada and started the TCG.
Okay.
So it's been a long journey, but I still love the game. So like I still got amazed like how the game like evolved like over the years. So
yeah, it's definitely a completely different game now than what it used to be back when you and I had met, and even way before that as well. So yeah, it's kind of funny seeing the evolution of this game kind of go from like kind of slow and basic, and now it's gotten really a lot more complex nowadays.
Yeah, so but I'm still happy that like the game is still like ongoing. So especially like during like these hard times, I guess like Konami did a good job on that. So yeah, which is good like for players. Yeah, and especially like for young kids, and they probably have nothing to do, and Yu-Gi-Oh can help them at least to develop their analysis skills and stuff like that. So yeah, which is good.
Well, Bo, I know you've been really busy because you have your wife, you have your newborn, you're a full-time engineer, and now it took a holiday for us to be able to finally record this, because this is the first time I've done the podcast in the morning, and I am not a morning person whatsoever, and I detest waking up very early, except when we go to play Yu-Gi-Oh for regionals. That's the only time I'm willing to wake up around 4 or 6 o'clock or whatever it is I have to wake up at just to go for regionals. So, Bo, man, again, congrats on your child, having a wife for 3 years now. And again, I really love that you invited me to your wedding. I was surprised when you did, but I was very happy to go when I did. And again, Dan, I'm glad to talk to you. It's been a long time since we've actually been able to sit down and have a good conversation with each other.
Yeah, it'd been a while, and I'm also I want to thank you as well, like for taking the time to talk to me and also to do the podcast. So
Yeah, absolutely, Bo. I couldn't imagine doing this podcast without at least having you on at one point in time.
thanks so much.
Of course,
Yeah,
man.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to join you and to join your podcast.
I
So
appreciate that, Bo. I really appreciate. Of course, I was going to have you on when I first started this, man. Of course, I was. You're a big name player, and you're a good friend of mine. So it makes sense to have you on. And I hope to finally meet your daughter because I haven't been able to yet, but I'm sure someday soon I'll be able to.
yeah, let me know. So I live in Richmond Hill. So if for some reason you'll be in that area, so let me know.
I will indeed, buddy. All right, that is Bo Tang, the first ever Canadian world's competitor since the North American merger here on the Gate Expectations podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and have yourselves a wonderful day. Bo, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, David, and thank you, everyone.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. For more information, check out the Gate Expectations podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Patreon, Twitter, and Spotify.